Good evening, and welcome to No Regrets Parenting TV on Mom TV Network. I'm Dr. Harley Rotbart, and I'm your host for these regular live chats about kids and parents when we'll try to answer together the universal question, how can something that is so hard and so exhausting on a day-to-day basis, like raising kids, feel like it's going by too fast? How could your third grader already be in third grade? She was just in kindergarten. And even more importantly, what can we do about it? How can we slow down childhood long enough to feel we're being the best parents we can be and that we're getting the most out of our parenting experience? So, let's talk a little bit about no regrets parenting. The concept for no regrets parenting and the concept for this show comes from my book, No Regrets Parenting, Turning Long Days and Short Years into Cherished Moments with Your Kids. Since its release a year ago, No Regrets Parenting has been one of the best-selling parenting books in the country because it gives parents the tools they need to get through the chaos and the choreography of parenting and still make the most of every minute they have with their kids. This is an interactive show. If you have logged in, either through Twitter, Facebook, or as a guest, you can type your questions into the chat box, and I'll see them in real time. I'll answer as many of your questions as I can, and if I don't know the answers, I'll try to find them for you before our next show, or send you to the right place to find them for yourself. The website you see at the bottom of your screen provides contact information for me, so we can continue the conversation after tonight's show has ended. If you go to that website, you'll also find my links to Twitter and Facebook. So let's get started. What is no regrets parenting, and why is it important? First and foremost, no regrets parenting is about choices. Albert Camus said it correctly. Life is a sum of all of your choices. The choices that we'll be talking about tonight are choices of how you spend your time, because time, of course, is our most precious commodity. It is irreplaceable. Our bumper sticker for No Regrets Parenting is that the days are long, but the years are short, and now is the time. I don't have to convince you of how long the days with young kids can be. They feel like a week, and each week feels like a month. And you know these pictures. These are the pictures of exhausted parents, of frustrated kids, so that by the time the day is over, really what you want to do is just get the kids to sleep. Just please go to sleep. And it doesn't get much better when your kids are a little bit older. When they're tweens and teens, it feels also like each day lasts a week and each week lasts a month. And you know the expressions that you see on the faces of these tweens and teenagers. It is a frustrating experience filled with no, 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 just as it was when they were younger. But just as long as the days may feel, and as long as the weeks may feel, every birthday passes fast, and childhood seems to be streaking by at warp speed. You only need to look at this picture of how the definition of mobile changes from that playful toy that's hanging over your baby's crib to the first signs of mobility when your 3-year-old takes to the tricycle to true mobility when your teenager is now driving on their own, and then it's only a matter of time before they're out the door. So the days are long and the years are short, and we need to have some goals for ourselves as no regrets parents. Let's first talk about long-range goals. The long-range goals of a no-regrets parent should be that when your bedrooms look like the bedrooms in my house now do, on the picture on the right of your screen, that you will be able to walk by those empty bedrooms and feel a sense of fulfillment, a sense of satisfaction, a sense of contentment and nostalgia, but no regrets. Right now, of course, the bedrooms in your house look like the ones on the left of this picture. And that's because your kids are still home. That's the way the bedrooms look in my house when my kids are home too. But right now, I have a 20-year-old, a 23-year-old, and a 25-year-old, and none of them are living at home. We are true empty nesters. And we walk by their empty bedrooms many times a day, passing the pictures in the hallway of the way the kids were when they were younger. And it is really a blessing for us to know that we were with them every minute that we could be with them, and therefore we have no regrets about having missed their childhood. After 30 years as a pediatrician, I've watched lots of parenting styles come and go, and raising our own kids, I've watched some of our parenting styles change as we've gone along the process. And in all of that, I've come to the conclusion that the most important thing you can have when you get to my generation with your kids, when your kids are out the door, is to feel no regrets, no would've, wish I would've, wish I could've, wish I did something differently. You should feel a sense of true no regrets. So our long-range goals are empty bedrooms, but no regrets. In the short range, our goals are a little bit more practical. And much of the no regrets parenting concept, much of the book, and much of what we'll be discussing on these TV programs has to do with the short range goal. And for that, our intent is to make more of the time we already have with our kids by turning minutes into moments and, remarkably, finding more time. And yes, it's true that there is a way to squeeze even more time out of your very busy day if you know how to do it. You can make more of the time you have, and you can actually find time that you didn't think you would have. First, we have to start with the question of who are you? And this is a reminder to me to tell you that you are welcome to add comments at any time in the chat box, and I will try to answer your questions at an appropriate pause point in our conversation, and proceed with the rest of the comments for tonight after we answer your question. But who are you? Who are you besides the person you're going to identify yourself as through the chat comments that you enter? You are many things. You are many things to many people. You are a friend. You are a spouse or a partner, perhaps. You may see yourself as being a hobbyist. That is, you may define yourself by your painting or by your writing, perhaps by your horseback riding. You may see yourself first and foremost by your hobby. You may be blessed to have your own parents still, and therefore you are also a child. You are probably a breadwinner, or if not, you are with someone who is a breadwinner. And you may see yourself even differently than a breadwinner as being a professional. Many professionals identify themselves distinctively from being simply breadwinners. They're not just making money, but they identify themselves by the profession that they practice. And among all of those things, somehow you have to find a way to also be a parent. And that's the picture in the middle. Where does parenting rate on your list of all the things that you are? In other words, who are you first? Are you first a breadwinner? Are you first a child to your own parents? Are you first a friend? Are you first a hobbyist? Are you first a parent, a professional, or a spouse or partner? Now, I can't tell you the right answer for you because there is no wrong answer. You are who you are, and you are making the best of your life and making the best of your parenting experience by being the person that you are. But I do have a hope and a wish for you, and that is I wish that you would be a parent somewhere high on the list. That may not mean that you're a parent first, and it may mean that you are, for example, a spouse or a partner first. But I would like parenting to be somewhere near the top of your list. And if not, if it isn't now, and then I hope that by the time you've finished with tonight's program, seen other programs in this series as the weeks go on, and perhaps picked up a copy of the No Regrets Parenting book, you will have an image of that empty bedroom in your mind, as you see in the little cloud bubble on this slide. And it will remind you that parenting is fleeting and those bedrooms empty quicker than you could possibly have imagined. And hopefully parent will move up on your list. Now, No Regrets Parenting is divided into basic principles and simple strategies. And what I'd like to do this evening is just give you a brief introduction to those principles and to those strategies. And I can't cover but one or two of each tonight because we simply don't have the time. But over the course of this series of No Regrets Parenting on Mom TV, we'll have a chance to cover all of the principles and all of the strategies that I think are most important for you to be a successful no regrets parent. But let me give you a little bit of an example of the types of things I mean when I say basic principles. Basic principle number 1. Parenting styles and philosophies come and go. Hopefully I didn't disconnect you during that entire period. I'm a little new at this technology. If I disconnected you, let me just repeat myself for a moment. And that is that basic principle number 1 is that parenting styles and philosophies come and go, and you shouldn't worry too much about them. And I showed you this picture of Adam and Eve. And again, forgive me if I'm being redundant, but I'm really not sure how all these buttons work yet. And that Adam and Eve, although they didn't have any parenting books on their bookshelves, in retrospect, it probably would have been a pretty good idea considering how their parenting experience turned out. But that aside, we don't have the problem. We have many, many options for buying parenting books, for reading parenting books, for adopting attachment parenting or love and logic parenting, etc. I don't blame anyone for having a parenting book. No Regrets Parenting, however, although it's a book, is not a parenting book. It's a book that helps you find the time to be the kind of parent that you want to be, whatever kind that is. So if you want to be an attachment parent or a conscientious parent or a love and logic parent or do positive parenting, whatever parenting style you believe is the best, I want you to have enough time to be able to do that. I want you to have enough meaningful, memorable time with your kids that you can parent in the style that you have chosen. Now, these parenting styles come and go. Some of these books that you see on this picture have been gone for a long time, and some of them are brand new. And I lean toward what John Wilmot said, and after 30 years of pediatrics, I've got to say, this is how I feel. Before I got married, I had 6 theories about bringing up children. Now I have 6 children and no theories. And really, I could say that after 30 years of pediatrics and bringing up 3 children, I really don't have theories either about what the best way of parenting is. I truly believe that the best technique, the best philosophy of parenting is the philosophy of your family and what works best in your family. Pick a book. If you'd like to have a book on your shelf, pick 3 books if you'd like to have 3 books on your shelf. But spend enough time with your kids that whatever philosophy you have, even though it may come and go, whatever philosophy you have in raising your kids, you have enough time to do it. So that's basic principle number 1. And the punchline of that is, of course, that it's your intuition. Mother knows best and father knows best in what is working and what is not working for your family. Basic principle number 2. There are 940 Saturdays between the time your baby is born and the time she leaves for college. 940 Saturdays. Now, some of you are saying, oh my gosh, just 940? And others of you are saying, well, that seems like a lot of Saturdays. But let me tell you that by the time your kids enter kindergarten, by the time your little girl enters kindergarten, 260 of those 940 Saturdays are gone. You've already used them up. And so this is a finite, precious commodity, time. And our Saturdays and our Tuesdays and our Wednesdays are very, very important, and we have to make the most of it. And then the final basic principle that I'll tell you tonight, and again, we'll share many others on subsequent evenings together, is that if you follow the basic principles and do your best to follow the simple strategies of no regrets parenting, I absolve you of all guilt. That is, you are not going to be able to get to every soccer game. You are not going to be able to get to every PTA meeting. You are not even perhaps going to be able to get to every parent-teacher conference. But if you make the most of every minute that you have with your kids and you turn them into special moments, no matter how scarce those minutes are, if you follow the guidelines of no regrets parenting, you should feel no guilt for the opportunities that you miss with your kids. And there will be opportunities, many of them, that you can't be part of because you have an adult life, you have adult responsibilities, and it's important for your kids to have independence from you as well. You will not be there for every one of the parenting opportunities that you are presented with. Don't feel guilty about the ones that you can't be there for. Now, again, that's a teaser about the basic principles of no regrets parenting. I'd like to spend just a moment or two telling you, giving you some examples of the simple strategies that I write about in the No Regrets Parenting book. First simple strategy is that every Sunday night from now on, I want you to sit down with your kids and your adult calendar. I don't mean the calendar that's posted on the refrigerator or on the kitchen wall that you walk by. I mean the adult calendar that defines your day. Do this exercise with me. If you, heaven forbid, lost your calendar, whether it's on your phone or it's a handwritten calendar in your handbag, if it's on your office desk, if your calendar fell into the hands of a stranger, what would that stranger know about you as a parent by looking at that calendar? How important is parenting to you? If they look at that calendar, would they be able to tell? They certainly would be able to tell how important your professional life is. They would be able to tell what the meetings that you go to and the meetings that you skip. They'd be able to tell the community events that you attend and the community events that you don't skip, that you don't attend. But how will they interpret your parenting on your priority list? Now, for some of you, you already have your kids' activities in your calendar because right now they're your priority. Perhaps they're young and they can't get anywhere unless you're there. But I'll tell you that as your kids get older, it's harder and harder to keep track of their weekly activities. And it's important that you do for many reasons. And so on Sunday night, I want you to write down all of your kids' activities in your grown-up calendar so that if you ever lost that calendar, someone would know how important being a parent is to you. Now, what are the benefits of doing that? Well, first of all, you're the parent. So you should write down your kids' activities because you should know what they're doing. It's your job to know what they're doing on a day-to-day, even on an hour-by-hour basis, especially when they're younger. You should know where they are. But secondly, and perhaps more fun, sometimes something will cancel in your calendar. You'll have an unexpected break. A meeting will get canceled. A lunch that you were scheduled to attend, whoever you were having lunch with backed out. If you have your kid's calendar on your calendar, you'll know that there's a basketball game that afternoon, and if you hurry, you can get there for the second half. If you didn't write it down, you won't know. And you'll get to dinner that night, and you'll kick yourself because you'll say, oh my goodness, my meeting was canceled. I could have been there if only I would have known. Now, you've got to know. Write it down once a week, sit down with your kids, and put it in your calendar. Now, the next simple strategy is a derivative of that first one, and that is instant replay. You will not get to everything that you've written on your calendar about your kids' activities. Many, perhaps most of your kids' activities you can't get to because you are fulfilling your adult responsibilities, and that's okay. You have to provide for your family, and you have to provide for your own needs as an adult as well. But in this day and age, there is no reason why you have to miss any activity of your kids. And the way to make sure that you don't miss it is to have somebody video it for you. Now, it may be your spouse. It may be your nanny. It may be the babysitter. It may be an older sibling. It may be the parent of a friend of yours whose child is also participating in the same event, in which case you pay them back by videoing the event for them on a day that they can't be there. But find someone to use their phone or a video camera to tape the big event, especially, it doesn't have to be every soccer practice, but especially the championship game that you can't get to, or the holiday pageant that you're going to miss, or the first time your child has a piano recital. Don't miss those events even though you have to miss them. Have someone video them for you, and then that night have your star narrate the event for you when you play it back on the big screen TV. It's almost as much fun that night to hear your little performer perform for you live and in person and narrate what you missed than it is to be at the event yourself. And then the final no regrets simple strategy that I'm going to go over tonight, again as sort of a tease for the many that we will do in coming weeks and months, is the strategy of unplugging the car. And I don't mean by that unplugging your hybrid. So picture this. You pull up to the stoplight, to the red light at the corner, and you look at the minivan that's parked next to you. And the dog has her nose, her snout, poking out of the window. And the driver, the parent at the red light, is talking on the phone or texting. And in the middle seat, next to the dog, are two kids who are each plugged in with earbuds listening to iTunes or texting or watching a video on their devices, on their mobile devices. And in the back row, the little one has a drop-down DVD player and is watching Finding Nemo for the 400th time on the Disney Channel. Now, everybody in this car is separated by a matter of inches, but they are separated by miles of broadband. They might as well be in different orbits. The only one paying attention to the environment is the dog, and everybody else is in their own mini universe, circling but not communicating and not in touch with everybody else who's in the car. What a waste. We spend on average 30 to 60 minutes a day in the car with our kids. If that time is spent with your kids plugged into an earbud, you are missing time that you could otherwise have with your kids. That is time I'm giving back to you. That's no regrets parenting time. Time in the car is precious time because it's time with your kids. Don't just get in the car to go someplace. Get in the car with your kids to be with your kids. And when you're in the car, be with them. Now, it's okay to listen to the radio as long as everybody is listening to the same song or the same baseball game. It's okay to listen to a book on tape as long as everybody is listening to the same book. Learn a language together on tape when your kids are a little bit older, but everybody is making fun of the lady with the funny Italian accent at the same time. You're all listening at the same time together. The key word is together. And if all else fails, if you can't find a tape to listen to, you can't find music to listen to, the ball game isn't on, if all else fails and you've got your kids in the car, talk. Talk to them for 30 to 60 minutes a day that you otherwise would not have taken advantage of. You'll feel much better at the end of the day for the time that you spent with your kids because you've just now gotten back 30 to 60 minutes that you otherwise would have lost. Well, that's the end of tonight's segment of No Regrets Parenting, but I wanted to conclude by telling you a very frequently asked question at the seminars, the No Regrets Parenting seminars that I give. And that is, how do we parent kids when there's a separation in ages, when there's a wide separation? And that's a very frequent question, and wide is a matter of relativity. That may be 3 years, it may be 5 years. In some cases, there's a teenager and a toddler in the same household. How can you be a no regrets parent and give equal amounts of time, equal amounts of attention, appropriate amounts of time and attention to each of your kids separately? I'm going to leave that question out there for you now, but I'm going to play this video that is, in my mind, the perfect example of how kids separated widely in age can be parented and can grow up to be best friends. This is a video that my kids sent me, and I'll tell you that there are no endorsers for this show. There are no paid advertisers for this show. This video happens to be produced by Dick's Sporting Goods, with whom I have no affiliation whatsoever, and I am not endorsing their products, but it is a beautiful video. And I'm going to give it to you full screen and then sign off because it always embarrasses me the way I choke up watching this video because it so reminds me of our own kids when they were growing up. So for now, let me say good night, and until next time, please be a no regrets parent, and I hope you enjoy this video called The Glow.
Pretty look.
Doing pretty good. It's yours.
Really?